So I want to talk quickly about how you can use the private teachers only folder on Seesaw in a few different ways, but primarily I just want to highlight a way that it could be really useful for guest teachers. So depending on how it works in your school or district, you may share your subplans in a variety of different ways, but when you're using Seesaw, it can be helpful to have those subplans accessible easily right on Seesaw for those guest teachers. So I want to show you how we can make that happen. So if I click add and post student work, I'm going to click upload, and then I'm just going to choose my subplans. So I'm just choosing like a blank template, editable subplan creator kind of thing, made by Howie Wood on TPT if you're interested. But obviously you use your own actual subplans and whatever they look like. Upload those, click your check, choose maybe like the sample student would be a good choice because then it's not tied to any of your actual students. Don't choose any of your folders that you've created. Instead, go down to this little lock right here, click the lock, and make sure this is green so that it says keep private teachers only, and then click check. So now this post is going to be in your private teachers only folder, and none of your students will be able to see it, but a guest teacher would be able to access it. So now if I wanted to be able to find this later, and I've been doing other things in the activities and inbox and such, I can go back to my journal. Here's my class journal. Just click on my folder and go to private teachers only. So this is all of the things. I only have one thing right now in my private teachers only folder. So if I wanted to have, like if I was going to be gone on vacation, I was going to be gone 5 days, I could have 5 days of activities and subplans posted in here. And I could label them by the day of the week or whatever I wanted to. So this is a really great way to make your subplans really easily accessible for your guest teachers. And obviously you can add comments and you can add additional pages and you can mark them up and do whatever you need to do to make changes as you go. And then your guest teachers can easily go in here and just print these if they would prefer to have them in a hard copy. Oh, sorry, this is actually not the way that you want to do it because this just takes you to the post. I apologize for that. Instead, we want to do view original. My bad on that. So view original, then it comes up in the full page list like this, and then you can print from here. So that's what you would want to do. So this is easy for your guest teachers, and then they can access it at any time while they are working through Seesaw. So this is great if you are teaching remote or in person, it doesn't matter. And then I also just wanted to touch on other ways that private teachers only folder can be useful. So one other great use is if you are maybe in person and you have the feature on where students are able to see each other's work. So if you are using home learning codes and you're remote right now, then your students can't see one another's work. But if you're in person, maybe your students can see one another's work and they've been commenting on each other's work and things like that, and that's fantastic. But if you want to administer some type of assessment, you might not want them to be able to see that. So if you're going to assign some type of assessment, like a letter assessment like this, you could go in here, go to folders, and I would just click my private folder instead of any of my other folders. And that way, assign, here we go. And then when my students complete this assessment, it'll just go, and after I approve it, it'll go straight into my private teachers only folder, and it won't be viewable by any of the other students. So that's a really great tool for assessments. That's also a great tool for maybe specific things you want to share with families at conferences. So if you're creating like a conference post and you have specific slides and activities and assessment data and things like that that you want to be able to share with parents and families, saving one post for each student or more in your private teachers only folder would make it so that students aren't seeing that and seeing one another's posts, and you can also very easily just click on this folder, click on private, and find all of those that you need to be able to see. So that's a really great way. And then the final way that I've used it in the past is if I have a post or completion of an activity with a student that maybe they did not use Seesaw in the most appropriate way. They posted something that was not okay. We need to maybe talk about how they're using Seesaw. Then I'll save that to the private teachers only folder so that I am not deleting it, because I don't want to delete it because I want to be able to show it to them while we have a conversation about it. But I also don't want to approve it and have it just in the student feed. So that's a really great way to put a post or completion of an activity that you need to have a conversation with a student or a family about. So those are just a few of the best ways that I like to use the private teachers only folder, and hopefully you will use some of those strategies as well.